What's up, video? Welcome to today's guys. In today's video, we're going to explore how my Balisong collection has changed over the year of 2020. I'm in danger. I'm not safe. I'm not safe. I'm not safe. This video won't contain many of the knives from my 2019 collection video, which you can watch here, as I've decided to focus on the changes this year has forced onto my soul and psyche rather than rehashing past properties over and over again. Yeah! Oh! Before we get into all of that though, I want to give a big thank you to all of my wonderful patrons. You all are the reason that we can make each one of these videos. If you'd like to join my patrons like Matt, Duncombe, and Alistair on the private community Discord, consider donating. Tiers start at just $3 a month and every bit leads me closer to discovering the secret of the everlasting gobstopper. Wilhurst.gay. Buy a shirt. Yup, first is the big and meaty Latchless Channel Alpha Beast from Blade Runner Systems. This knife was an early addition to my collection this year when I bought it back in February.
The before times.
The Latchless CHAB has an awesome weight to it that, while strange at first, makes it a very fun and interesting flipper in the long run. This thing is also built like a tank, feeling very clunky and satisfying when those handles smack together. The only other knife in my collection that has this sort of feel is my Balisong, and you know how much I love that thing. Yes, this thing is sure to set a wildfire in your heart just from taking it out back and flipping it. It's so much fun to use even if it took me a bit to get used to it. All of this makes the Latchless CHAB a mainstay in my collection that I don't see myself getting rid of anytime soon. Speaking of big and meaty knives, let me introduce you to a recent addition to my collection. This is the big boy Delta FifT by MachineWise. Now, I know I just did a review of this thing, so don't impeach me for wanting to talk about it again, but it's cool. American construction, titanium channel handles, decent blade steel, for under $300. This thing hits like a truck when it comes to value. Along with that value though is something genuinely fun to flip. I love slinging this thing around, and even my camera guy Brandon found it easier to flip than most other knives. And how? Sure, it's strange looking, but I believe that difference is a good thing, and this thing is proof of that. It's light and responsive while somehow looking fat and heavy. It's full of holes and yet somehow rock solid. It's a Balisong full of contradictions, and I love that. Fun fact, MachineWise actually told me that my 2019 collection video is what inspired him to make a Balisong in the first place. It really is something that he could go from being inspired by my collection to having a product in my collection in literally 1 year. That is some super cool dedication and drive. Speaking of dedication and drive, headphones drive. They drive sound into your little ear holes. My headphone collection is a great little video that I don't think got enough views, so I'm pitching it to you in the middle of this video to be petty. I know it's not a knife video, but if the idea of my weird collection of headphones interests you, please watch it.
It was a really good video.
It was a
we
really good
put a lot
video.
of work into that video.
With so much work into it. Speaking of strange knives, I have a few of those in my collection, but the one that stands out the most this year has to be the Barfly Pro V2 from Barfly. This beautiful, vivid pink bottle opener is a really fun addition to my collection that I actually keep over by my home bar at all times. This thing is just as big and bulky as the Delta FifT, and it's also just as fun to flip. It is shockingly well done sandwich construction, which makes it feel nice and responsive while flipping. It's very cool to see a company like Barfly going from what was essentially a novelty product to a fully realized and reliable flipper. Sure, its strange design does impact the flippability to a degree, but I think that the price and uniqueness outweighs that greatly. Speaking of fun knives, one of my most entertaining knives is also a custom piece, in a way. That would be my light up modded Squiddy C that I made for my Squiddy Roundup review. I've wanted something like this for a really long time, and I'm glad I did it this year. Now, not even a global pandemic can keep me from using it to pretend I'm having a rave in my office. I went through a few different iterations with this mod. As you can see, I've removed all of the built-in weights and drilled holes into the handles where the LEDs are inserted. They are held in with shoe goo, which also helps spread the light around a bit. I frosted the flats of the handles and the blade, which makes the entire handle appear like it's glowing while flipping. Also, I just wanted to say thanks to my patron AZL Knife, who donated these lights he got from Amazing Lights. They are super high quality, and I really can't believe they were donated. Shockingly, this whole mod doesn't impact the flipping that much at all. The weight actually feels even more balanced in my opinion because of the batteries. Even better, the LEDs on the end don't get in the way while flipping. Overall, I am really proud of this knife. It's basically a fully custom piece and is the most fun in my collection by far. I smile anytime I get to flip it, and I really look forward to using it at a real rave, eventually. Use code WillHirsch at checkout to get 10%.
What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. We came all the way out here to shoot
Just turned off again.
to shoot footage of the Squiddy C, and the lights died.
Lights died. Only
We're
one of them is
here.
working now.
We're here.
These two died.
Look how beautiful the backdrop is. Wow, what a beautiful location. Look how fortunate we are. Woo.
Speaking of customization, this next knife is king of it. That, of course, would be the Benchmade 51. It got stuck.
But Mr. WillHirsch.gay, you already got yourself a Benchmade 51.
Well, yes, I do. And I love my custom 51 dearly, but this one I actually got this year. Alicer, who is one of my patrons, was running a raffle for this 51, and I actually got a slot. By chance, I randomly won, which is crazy. This is my first time owning a custom 51 with Space Invaders, and I'm really happy I got to try it out. The way this thing flips is strange to say the least, but it's really fun once you get used to it. It has a weird way of growing on you the more you flip it, as noted by both me and Brandon. If you didn't know, Space Invaders are a mod that replaces the spacers of the 51. Oh my god, that's why they're called Space Invaders. Because they replace the space. Brandon, did you know that? That's clever. God, I'm stupid. These new spacers do double duty, making the knife substantially longer while also adding faux channel using the spacer. This faux channel is really nice, and it has the added bonus of giving the knife a very peculiar sound. One halfway between a plastic and metal knife. It's like a nice low-pitched plastic sound whenever you close it, and I find it very pleasing to the ears. This thing actually reignited the spark for me with 51s, and I think I'll be making a video about knife customization in the near future, so subscribe if you don't want to miss that.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of knives that are customizable, this next knife is probably going to be the most customizable on the market soon. That would be the very fun Kershaw Lucha. Oh no, not again. This Kershaw Lucha has the new Flytanium aluminum channel handles mod in orange. Of course. I'm actually going to be making a full review of this mod soon as well. This thing is really interesting, and the aluminum handles mean it won't even fit in my Pelican case. The handles also have no hole pattern, instead having an interesting design made of ridges. By the way, if you happen to like the shirt I'm wearing in the B-roll, you can buy it at WillHirsch.gay. That's the website, WillHirsch.gay. We have pillows. WillHirsch.gay. Nobody will know that you did it. WillHirsch.gay. What's the worst that could happen? WillHirsch.gay. It's not like anyone would storm the Capitol. WillHirsch.gay. And yeah, I just really like it. It's a bit big, but the fun colors and the quality make it pretty great. And orange. Speaking of orange, the Bowie Krakie V2 by Squid Industries. This thing is right up at the top of my Balisong list for a reason, and I am very proud to own this specific color of the Bowen Krakie. What is wrong with me? Knife Center may have crashed while I was trying to buy it, scarring me for life, but it was all worth it in the end. The Krakie continues to be one of my favorite knives overall, and the Bowie is no different. Its feel while flipping isn't that much different from the original, and the V2 is only a marginal improvement over the V1, so even if you have a V1, you really aren't missing much. Of course, our resident Kraken expert is the renowned Dr. Baker. Let's ask him for a little perspective. Mr. Brandon, you have the floor.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Brandon's Balisong Corner, which isn't actually a corner. It's a collection of exactly 69 grilled cheeses floating around you, singing to you everything you've ever done wrong in life. So my Balisong collection is actually pretty small, though I feel I have something for every level of flipping. As Will just mentioned, I have my tried and true Krakie, which has certainly seen much better days. But this has everything I want in a Balisong, from the sounds that it makes, the weight, the feel on the hand, the black and red. I've tried a lot of Balisongs in Will's collection, but this one has remained my absolute favorite by far. Within the same arena, we have my original Squiddy, which has unfortunately not aged nearly as gracefully as the Krakie, as you can see. Oh no. This was actually my very first Balisong, and over the 2 years-ish that I've had it, I've had a great time flipping it. Unfortunately, after a few attempts to fix it, both Will and I just can't seem to get it to have the same swing that it had before. I'll probably ultimately end up replacing it with like a Squiddy B and try and make that black and red, but that's a topic for another video. Wink sound effect.
Wink sound effect.
Wink sound effect.
Wink
You
sound
hear
effect.
that? Wink sound
Wink sound
effect.
effect.
Wink
Wink
sound
sound
effect. Also, speaking of that, Squid Industries actually sent us some like incredible Christmas gifts. They sent a customized T10 bit not only to Will but to me, and it has my name on it. Do I deserve this? Am I even real? They also sent us a Triton, which people have been asking us to review for like a really long time. My quick review of it, it feels like a metal Squiddy with really interesting feeling handles. I think it's an awesome high quality trainer for the price. But yeah, sincere thank you to Squid Industries for the little goodies, because holy crap, that is really, really cool. Then from there, we have my $30 Balisong, which I don't flip that often, but it's nice to have. The hardware is held up really well after Will did some mods to it. I never had to tighten it. It's definitely stood the test of time. I know this seems like a small collection for someone who literally shoots Balisong reviews, but considering I don't even necessarily flip every day, and of course the access I have to tons of different knives through Will, I don't necessarily feel the need to collect knives the way that General Grievous collects lightsabers. Though I do have a lightsaber.
Speaking of presents, the present is what we must focus on in these most troubling times. It's the Triton from Squid Industries. The Triton was an unexpected gift, but a really cool one nonetheless. I've wanted something like this to review for quite a while, but I never had the hands-on experience to really do it. Thankfully, I have one now, so you can expect a review of this to come in the near future for that as well. For now, it's a really cool little trainer. I found it to be a lot of fun to sling around, almost reminding me of my 51 or Scorpius in feel. Also, I think the silver and inked black look is pretty freaking cool. The handles feel nice and grippy with what I think is a bead blast texture, and the noise reminds me a lot of my OG Squid trainer. Overall though, it's absolutely a joy to flip.
But Mr. Willhurst.gay, don't you have an affiliate code?
Willhurst at checkout.
That means that if people buy the knife with the code that you're gonna make money, so you're just saying you like it so people will buy the knife?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for my 2020 collection in terms of changes. I still have the same knives I did last year as well, other than the Omeme, which got sold. What knives are your favorite? Are there any that I should try? Or does my collection have some grails that you would like to try? Let me know in the comments down below. I love to hear what people have in their own collections. Of course, this video wouldn't have been possible without the support of my wonderful patrons. You all are so awesome, and both me and Brandon really appreciate the support. We really enjoy every moment of the voice chats that we have on the Patreon Discord, as well as just getting to talk with everyone in the first place. We went from not having a Patreon at all at the beginning of this year to having more than 60 incredible supporters, which is more than we could have ever dreamed about. We are really truly blown away with the amount of support that we've received, and we wanted to give a real thank you to our community. So if you'd like to join our private Discord and chat with all of these cool people, please consider donating. Tiers start at just $3 a month, and every bit fills my heart with joy knowing that I'm doing something people appreciate. Thank you. Of course, don't forget to follow me on Instagram as @TheWillHirsch. I post behind-the-scenes content as well as video announcements, so that's the best place to stay up to date on what I'm doing. Of course, don't forget to follow my camera guy @TheBrandonBaker. He posts awesome photography and videos and needs to be hooked up to a dialysis machine immediately. But that's pretty much it for the moment. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go replace Brandon with one of the many Brandons that I have in my closet.